Good morning, or good afternoon if you're seeing this in the afternoon live. My name is Casey Durango. My channel is Go Keto with Casey, as you may know, and I talk about the ketogenic diet and how you might be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life with the ketogenic diet, as I have done. Thank you. Couple of things. If you are viewing this outside of the hours of 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on May 12th, which is a Friday, and about 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, you're not viewing this live. If you do not enjoy live events, you might want to pick another video to watch, because I will be interacting with anyone who bothers to show up. Oh, you know what? I've done it again, guys. I have managed to not make this public. I always forget that. Let's see now. Sorry about that. I don't know whether you can see this before I make it public or not. I sometimes forget to make the YouTube piece public. I keep it private, which is not as helpful if people are trying to see it. So, good morning. I will repeat myself. This is Casey Durango. I am broadcasting live on May 12th between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Hope some others will join in and share in the frivolity. Today, I'm going to talk about, in addition to recognizing the viewers who show up and chat, I'm going to talk about a topic that comes up fairly frequently. What do you do when you get to goal? Good morning, Linda. You're always one of the first to show up. What do you do when you get to goal? Which I will say, I don't know that I think I'm close to goal. We'll find out how I feel. I have about 3.3 pounds to go. I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic diet, 115 and a half off my heaviest. So what happens in 3.3 pounds? What do you do then? People ask, oh, well, will you start reintroducing carbs? No, I will not. There is no reason for me to reintroduce carbs. If I haven't been eating carbs, good morning, Terry. Terry, are we about over the weather here? It is like 55 degrees. I got the fire going. We're in freaking North Carolina and it's mid-May. We're supposed to be enjoying nice warm weather. Anyway, why would I reintroduce carbs? But it's a logical question. I'm not dismissing the question. Particularly when back in the day, if you will remember, if you were familiar with the old Atkins, fix my picture, Atkins diet, part of Atkins was you reintroduced, well, that drives me nuts, you reintroduced carbs slowly up the ongoing ladder, if you remember that, the ongoing ladder. So you would start 2 weeks of induction, which is essentially very much what the ketogenic diet is. It's the first 2 weeks of Atkins. You simply never go off of that. But with Atkins, you would go up the ladder of ongoing weight loss and you would reintroduce carbs, which would be a problem for me. So there's one of the main differences between this and Atkins. Also, I believe Atkins stressed higher protein and not higher fat. So anyway, so if I start to reintroduce carbs, what's going to happen? I'm going to switch back to being a glucose burner, a sugar burner. I don't want to do that. I'm very happy being a ketone burner, a fat burner. I have been burning fat for well over 3 years now, and I love it. And it suits me, and I've lost weight. I've lost body fat. I have not lost muscle tone. I have increased energy. I've lost inflammation. I have increased mental clarity. I have lost mood swings and depression. I have gained confidence. I have lost the old Casey. the middle Casey. When I was a young person, I was vivacious and gregarious and optimistic. And then as the years went on and I began feeling worse physically, and I swear I believe because of burning glucose and the insulin response and the brain, I lost that. And I lost being an optimist. Not about the world. I've always tended to be an optimist about the world. I lost being an optimist about myself. I've gotten that back. So, why would I reintroduce carbs? There's no physiological reason I would need to do that. So say I get to my ideal weight, ideal body fat percentage. Everything's good. I don't need to reintroduce carbs. If I need more energy, and I am more active. By the way, patrons, I know I've not posted in proper exercise video, but I promise you, I'm getting more and more mileage every day. I think yesterday was 5.5 miles of walking and brisk walking and stuff. I just haven't made a video, so sorry about that. But as my energy increases, my activity increases, which it will. If my energy needs increase, and note, I don't like to use the C word, calories. If my energy needs increase, I'll eat more food. But that won't be any different than what I'm doing now. I'll eat when I'm hungry. I won't eat if I'm not hungry. I may be hungry more often than I am now. I may not be. We'll find out. But if I need more energy, I'll eat more food, but I'll keep my carbs below 20. I'll eat fatty sources of protein. If I eat vegetables, will be about this much, about the size of your fist, non-starchy vegetables, and maybe a salad. I have essentially not eaten any vegetables, very few, in the last 2 weeks. I have not felt the need for them. I haven't wanted them. Didn't feel like going to the store to get them. So I haven't eaten any vegetables, but we'll see. So the answer to all this is, hey, Pamela. Hey there. Thank you for your nice email this morning, and I loved chatting with you last night. We had a patron-only group chat, and Pamela was there. So it's so nice to meet people face to face, meet people. So you do what you want to do, and some people can tolerate more carbs than I. Frankly, I'm not even interested in testing it. I don't know that I could tolerate more carbs. I don't care. I don't want them. I don't need them. I function beautifully on very low carbs. I think yesterday, even though I think I ate about 1,200 calories of food, which is a pretty heavy day for me, including a couple of cocktails, I think it was 6 grams of carb. So I just keep my carbs very, very low. No, excuse me, people are beeping at me. No, don't need that. So there's that. And I wonder, and I do want to recognize some folks, excuse me, as I fidget around. I'm in a different setting, you might notice. It is chilly here today, guys, and rainy, like in the 50s. So I've got the fire going. I decided to be in my cozy den. I just felt like it. So I'm in a different setting. Let me see some folks who are here. It's so ironic. I was thinking of this exact subject last night. Linda, you were thinking about what to do when you get to goal? Yeah, I'm not going to change a thing. I will, because listen to this. If listening to my body, which took me a minute to learn to do, listening to hunger, actual hunger, what level of emptiness means hunger, because it's a different sensation than when you're a glucose burner. Very often that's brain hunger. That's your brain telling you to eat, even though logically you know that you can't be hungry because you know logically that you ate 2 hours ago. And we know that it takes 4 hours for food to be digested. That's brain hunger. So hunger when you're a full-blown keto-adapted person is a different sensation. And it really takes learning to listen to your body. So if listening to my body has brought me success and contentment, then I'm not going to change that. I wouldn't change it. I will continue to listen to my body. let's assume this. Let's assume I never had an issue. Let's assume I was a person that for some reason or other always was burning ketones. I was just a person who never liked grains or starches or sweets. Let's just assume I was just a full out carnivore from my early days and never needed carbs, never wanted them. And I stayed at my ideal weight and I ate when I was hungry. Let's just take away all the years of being fat. Well, I wouldn't then all of a sudden decide, well, I'm going to change things up totally. You know, even though I'm at a wonderful, healthy weight, I'm fit, I have, you know, excellent blood markers and all this. I wouldn't change it up. Same thing now. I'm not going to change it up. Carbs are not my friend. I don't need them. They are not my friend. They are disinvited from the party. Glasses on. Is there a special time of day to test ketones with the meter? Thank you, Elaine Andalino. I don't think so. I believe that there is some evidence that if you test after a fairly intense physical exertion, you might show a higher reading. I've tested in the morning, I've tested in the afternoon. It doesn't seem to make a difference. Unlike, this is with the blood strips, unlike with the keto sticks, the urine strips, you're better not testing with the urine strips, not on a full bladder, not first thing upon rising when your bladder is probably quite full, because the acetoacetate could be diluted. Hey, Pamela, thank you for answering. Good morning, Vintage Girls. Thanks for the Friday boost. Know you're getting ready for your trip, so thanks for making time for us. 104 people here today, are there? I don't see that, but that's great. Thank you. Things are, yes, I only see 41 people, so it'd be great if there's 104. Yes, Deanna Cambiaso just became a patron, thank you. For those of you who don't know, there are rewards. If you go to patreon.com/GoKeto with Casey, I will continue to provide free content, but for patrons, they get special content and they get special rewards. I do wait until after a patron's card has actually been charged, which happens at the first of every month, because I've had the Patreon version of Dining and Dashing, where people have pledged, gotten rewards, and then canceled their card before they got charged. So I do wait until after people see. Not trying to be mercenary, but I also don't want to be a chump. Plus, it's not fair to the people who actually do let their cards be charged. So there's that. Good morning from Maine. You blew out of the 180s this week, 177.4. Shauna, that's fantastic. Yeah, you blew out of the 80s with a bullet. That is great. Where are you seeing 104 people? Or maybe it's in the gym. Vintage Girls, maybe it's 104 people in your gym. That's what you're talking about. Sharon, do you have times a day that are a challenge for you? Carb cravings arise in the evening for me. I did. Thank you for asking that question, Sharon Walker. I did at the beginning. I did have to fight, you know, are you eating out of hunger or out of habit question? I realized it was usually coming mid-afternoon. And that was after years of being a glucose burner, where almost everybody I know who's been a glucose burner hits the wall at about 2:30 or 3. And that's because of this cycle of the glucose and the insulin and the drop in blood sugar. And so you need a boost, or else you need to come home and take a nap, or both. So I was programmed to eat mid-afternoon. So I found that the most challenging. Once I got over that, and frankly, it helped because my meals, I don't generally eat breakfast first thing in the morning. I haven't eaten today yet. I may or may not eat. I ate a pretty heavy day yesterday, very satisfying food. I may or may not eat, or I'll eat later in the day. As my meals have gotten later, like my breakfast might be really lunch. So that mid-afternoon thing, I'm not even, forget about habit. I just don't even want to eat because I'm still full of, you know, luscious fats and proteins. But yeah, that was the hardest for me. And if I've gone past just this certain point with cocktails, I get not full-blown munchies, but again, it's like habit. Ooh. Now, fortunately, when I have, we don't have things in the house. We keep almonds. My husband can tolerate almonds. I tend to avoid them. But that might be something I'll go for. I've had, an extra half a glass of wine. I might want some almonds, so I have to be careful about that. Yes. So in answer to your question, there have been times that are more challenging. As I've gotten better and better and better about just forgetting about eating out of habit, that has waned. Oh, here at the gym, 104. Thank you for clarifying that, vintage girls. Shauna writes, thank you, Dr. Westman changed your whole mindset. Dr. Westman's an awesome person. I can't tell you enough how wonderful and generous he is. Linda LaRue, eating keto but doing too much evening grazing. Yes, help, she says. Yeah. Have you maybe had a cocktail, a little glass of wine? Maybe that's it. Or let's think what we can do. Set the timer. I've really set timers when I needed, when I was trying to get out of this eating out of habit thing. Set a timer, even for just 10 minutes, and then set it again. Or maybe 15 minutes, or they say, okay, in maybe half an hour, I'll eat something. But right now, I'm really not. If I'm jonesing on something, maybe pop a little cube of cheese or something, not 4 ounces of cheese. Have some, or I'll tell you what works. A hard-boiled egg and a glass of water, appetite killer. Linda writes, Marlene, Hubster lost 10 pounds first week on keto. Marlene, we had the pleasure of meeting Marlene and Dave on a live chat. He stuck his head in. He was in the background. Marlene, is he feeling better? Did he up his sodium? Has his energy and kind of headache passed? Linda writes, I find weekends are tough for me, but mostly because my hubby is here munching on everything. That's tough. When your family, your significant other, your partner, when they're not doing it, not following this way of eating, and there are chips and cookies and juices, like orange juice and bread and everything else that we're trying to not eat. When it's in the house and they're eating it, it is a challenge. Hopefully, your husband is not trying to sabotage you. We do know that can happen. Fortunately, it did not happen with me. My husband was skeptical at the beginning, but he wholeheartedly supported me in it. In about 6 months, he decided to do it as well. But I'll tell you, that was not so much a challenge for me, having the food around, because we did have food around. And I baked bread for him every Sunday. I ground the wheat berries and I baked the bread and it smelled delicious. But I had the added advantage of being so miserable when I started that it was not a challenge for me to give it up. I just had hit that point where I said, I can't go on this way. And I started feeling better so quickly. And I recognized that it was because I had kept my carbs below 20. Frankly, I ate almost no carbs. When I started, I was all about the bacon and the eggs and the sausage and the cheese and the pepperonis and the ribeyes. I ate very few carbs, and I enjoyed it. And I felt better so much quickly. Forget about the 8 pounds I lost in the first week, and then it trickled down to very little. So I was not tempted, but I'm fortunate. That doesn't mean that I hadn't tried a low carb thing previously. I hadn't done ketogenic, but I tried the low carb a few times. And we talked about this in the live chat last night. Sometimes you need more at-bats. I mean, I lost in college. I did Atkins. Lost 13 pounds. That's what I wanted to lose, because I gained, like 13 when I went to college and lived on campus. And then I said, okay, that worked. And I went on about my way. So I knew it worked. And I came back to it a couple of times over the years. I needed to hit that point. And if you have not hit that point, good. If you're not that miserable, good. I wish that on no one. But if you've struggled a bit, don't Get yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again. Which brings us to another topic we talked about last night. And I do want to read some comments. Terry Farley, it's in my house, 2 kids, but I don't want it anymore. Thank goodness. I'm so glad, Terry. Sharon, P.S. Down 5 pounds from last week, gained 5 pounds from Easter. Stinking chocolate bunnies. Only the devil would put something as cute as a cartoon-looking bunny and make it out of chocolate. Awful. Okay, so we talked about carbing up or planned cheat days. Why? You do what you want to do. I would like to know the science behind how that could possibly be beneficial. Made the analogy before. If you're allergic to peanuts, and when you eat peanuts, you swell up and you feel bad and you get a headache and you break out in a rash. And when you don't eat peanuts, all of those things correct. Why would you ever say, well, just 1 meal a day, I'm going to have a handful of peanuts? Don't do that. Stay away from the peanuts. If carbs make you puff up and feel cruddy and sap you of your energy and make your joints hurt, why would you reintroduce them? Don't understand it. I won't be doing that. And it will send you out of ketosis. If you want to be in ketosis, burning fat, they've done studies. It takes like 2 hours to go out of ketosis if you really carb up. Small meal. I've described it before. It was a study. 1 cup of cooked pasta, which is nothing, a yeast roll, and a brownie square. Every single one of the participants who were in ketosis, long-term ketosis, all of them went out in about 2 or 3 hours. On average, it took 4 days to get back into ketosis. One woman, it took her 13 days. Kim, and I don't know whether Kim is on with us today from Germany, she shared on the group chat the other night that she experimented because she likes to know. So she experimented. She, with her lovely mates, vanilla pudding and some cookies. Not much, but enough to send her out of ketosis. And I think someone refreshed my memory. I believe that she said it took her 10 days to get back into ketosis. And she felt badly immediately. Next day, the next several days, she just felt, the way she put it was she felt like she was walking around with weights in her shoes. Whereas before she'd been feeling so much lighter and better. No cheating, folks. Ain't worth it. Absolutely, Pamela. Christy Carlson, there's no cheating when you enjoy what you eat and you see the desired results. Absolutely. I don't judge or think anyone is doing something wrong if they do. Excuse me, I've got to fix that picture. Excuse me. Is that better? No. Oh my. Driving me nuts. Okay. What Marlene writes, I used to cheat and have carbs and it just didn't work for me. Didn't feel right. Wanted to raid the entire pantry. There's actually experience where people can be in ketosis. They can tolerate more carbs and remain in ketosis, but that little extra bit of carbohydrate triggers cravings. So there might be just that sweet spot where you just don't want to go over it. Planning a cheat day is like buying an indulgence before sinning. In medieval times, nice historical reference. I like that. Sharon Walker, Pamela, I will kick them in the arse. Casey, only the devil. I'm dying now to get through Mother's Day. You will be strong. Listen, if people want to do something for you for Mother's Day and your children want to, I've had several people say, I've told my family, I want a steak for Mother's Day. Go to Texas Roadhouse, get yourself a 10-ounce medium rare ribeye, green beans cooked in bacon, a side salad, no croutons, extra bacon, and some blue cheese dressing. Happy Mother's Day. Or wherever you can find that. Or let them cook you a steak or a burger or some fish. I'm sorry. I do If I get beeps, because I want to make sure my husband's not trying to contact me. So if I get distracted by that. Snow Fairy takes that long to get back into ketosis. Well, I didn't know that. Yeah, it does on average. It just does. Your body just, it's just the way it is. Think of it this way. I don't know if there's a good analogy, but getting from burning ketones to getting into going to burning glucose, making that switch over is like, standing in a room and turning around and facing the opposite direction. You're walking this way, you turn around, you walk that way. Getting from burning glucose to burning ketones is more like being in a giant tramp steamer going, this direction, and you have to turn the whole thing around and go back this direction. Who knows why that is? I don't know the science behind why that is, but that seems to be the way it is. Kim, we were just talking about you, Kimmy. Good morning, keto people from Germany. We were just talking about your experience, your self-experimentation on having one of your lovely mates vanilla puddings and some cookies. And if you want to share in your own words how that made you feel and how long it took you to get back into ketosis, that would be awesome. Oh, Shauna, excellent. Restarting a fire in the rain. That is a great analogy. I'm going to steal it and call it my own. No, I'll give you full credit, Shauna. That's a great way to put it. Linda LaRue, it took on for this group that was studied, and they were long time, not deeply in ketosis, but long time in ketosis. On average, it took 4 days from one small, what we would consider a small carb meal of pasta, a yeast roll, and a brownie. Kim writes, it took 8 to 10 days to get back into ketosis. And this was not from a weekend fall off the wagon face plant into a chocolate cake, right, Kim? This was some pudding and some cookies. Listen, and we can get through Mother's Day. Absolutely. The chocolate bunny might have been the boss of you for a minute, but you're going to be well prepared, and you are not going to cave. If someone gives you chocolates, say thank you so very much and share them with the people around you if they want to eat them, and then take them to your office. Put them in the break room. They'll be, the candy will be gone in 8 seconds. Sharon Walker, steak and salad sounds yummy. Great advice. Yeah. And Kessie Kent writes, cheating makes you feel ugh. There's the answer right there. It makes you feel badly. It makes you feel badly physically. It makes you feel badly, hangry-wise. And then on top of it, you feel guilty, which you shouldn't do. Guilt is it is an ineffective emotion. Just like exercise is ineffective for losing body weight, exercise is great for making you feel fit and strong and bone density and clearing your head, but it's not effective for burning body fat. Guilt is not effective for changing your behavior. It just makes you feel badly. Lesson learned, won't do that again. I'll try to be, forearmed is forewarned. There's certain states of mind, I think, all of them negative, that you cannot deal with when you're in the middle of them. Jealousy being one. If you're a jealous person and you see your mate, someone's flirting with your mate, even if your mate's doing nothing wrong, and you get jealous, well, you fly off the handle. You've waited too long. You have to prepare yourself to say, okay, we're going to be out in public. If someone flirts with my mate, he can't control that or she can't control that. I'm just going to deal with it and I'll be prepared. These events, Easter, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. Holidays are just almost all about food. You have to prepare for them in advance and say, I understand I'm going to be tempted. I understand I may feel poor, pitiful me for about, 30 seconds because I'm not eating the red velvet cake. But I'm going to get through this. So be prepared that you may or may not feel cheated, but you're not being cheated. You're not. And you know how triumphant you'll feel when you get through that holiday or that dinner or that birthday party or that retirement party or that tailgating party, you know how powerful you're going to feel when you make it through and you did what was good for you and you didn't cave to other people's wishes, real or imagined. Sometimes we think people want us to do something and really that's us projecting. You can do it. We can all do it. Darn Hallmark holidays, right? Okay. And I'm so glad Kim has been writing. She writes, the worst, and this is Kim, she went out of ketosis. Worst thing after I saw I was kicked out was I felt demotivated. I was about to eat more shitty stuff. But then I read if you can keep your carbs pretty low, like 5 grams per day, you'll get you back very fast into ketosis. It still took you 8 days. Yeah, I don't know how being super low helps. I think you either are burning ketones or not, but I don't know, Kim. I would be interested to find out. And I'm going to be able to visit with some, well, the world experts on it for a good week. So I hope to come back with lots of great information. There will be lectures given by many experts on different topics. I'm going to take notes. I'm going to see if I'm allowed to videotape them. If not, I'll just take the notes. I hope to get some selfies and have dinner with these folks. I'm really excited. So I'll come back with great information because I have some questions of my own for sure. So Pamela, you were on last night's group chat and Kim was on Tuesday night's group chat. We'll have to get you all you guys together. So Pamela writes, excuse me, and Kim writes, and oh my God, my body felt so crappy, heavy like a stone and aching everywhere. My asthma got bad and I just wanted to lie all the time. I assume you mean lie down, not tell falsehoods. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Kim was apologizing for her English. Her English is impeccable. She's a German speaker. She's from Germany. Melanie Meyer asks, did you start testing ketones as soon as you started eating keto? No, because I wasn't doing it to be in ketosis. I was doing it just so I didn't have to take insulin. And my weight started coming off. Then I read more about it. And then I thought, okay, what is this all about? Because Dr. Westman's white coat video does not call this the ketogenic diet. It's just called the no starch, no sugar. He doesn't talk about burning ketones. He just talks about the food. Because he's keeping it very basic and simple for his clinic patients. As I learned more about it, saw the effects, I did more research. I read Dr. Spinney and Volek, Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Living, which explained the physiology of it. Then I started testing. So I want to say I might have been 2 months into it. I don't recall. And at that time, I just went to the store and got the keto sticks, the urine strips, which worked beautifully. And they certainly worked beautifully at the beginning. Some people say, oh, all they're doing is measuring ketones are spilling over. That's precisely what they're designed to do. So when people say, oh, that's all they're doing, that's their job. I don't understand the logic. Anyway, so I started about 2 months in. And then I got more curious and I love data. So I got the blood meter, the Precision Extra blood meter, which I use to this day. I don't test often because the blood strips are pricey. I get them from Canada. Even then, they're like $2.20 each. And I'm always in ketosis. I just have no reason to think I'd be out of it. If something odd happens, if I either don't feel right for some reason or the scale does something weird up or down, I'll check just to make sure. But I'm never out of ketosis. I'll put links to those things in the below this video. I think I can do that. Good evening from Saudi Arabia. I found your channel about a week ago. Didn't realize you were live. Nicole, did you just email me through my blog? Because, no, excuse me, that is someone from Kuwait. I apologize. Hello from Saudi Arabia. Nicole, is it not true that Saudi Arabia has one of the fastest growing rates of type 2 diabetes? Or is it the fastest growing rate of bariatric surgery? To me, that was surprising that either of those things would be. Diana Cambiaso, I'm in for the cruise next spring. You mean the low carb cruise? That'd be cool. Jill from Singapore. I love this. Jill from Singapore. I'm sorry if I missed you saying hey. Wow. Bernadine Davison. Hi from Nova Scotia. Just curious how much every lost and how long they have been doing keto. I'm new to keto. For me, I'll speak. I'm a slow loser. The first year I lost 47 pounds. I've now, after 3-point-some years, I've lost 97.4 pounds. I'm 15.4 pounds lighter today than I was this day last year. So essentially in the last year, I've lost 15.4 pounds. Anyone else want to chime in? Linda LaRue, 35 pounds in 4 months. Wow, that's awesome. Kim, I know, Kim, you love data too. Next time I'm going to try to get a recipe from my doc for one. Oh, you mean a prescription for a tester? That'd be cool. Linda, Sharon writes 22 pounds, 4 months. Yeah, Pamela writes, wow, worldwide, Casey. Thank you so much. Linda, ketones don't show on sticks for me. I'm heavy doses of diuretics, but I'm in ketosis on the meter. Keep in mind, if you're on diuretics, because you're losing so much water, you are diluting the acetoacetate. So there are special circumstances when you could get a false negative. So if you're on diuretics, that would be one. Ms. Tara Michelle, 22 pounds in 4 months. Wow. Tammy Cook, hi from Central Indiana. That is me also. By the way, for my patrons, I just wrote a bunch of thank you notes, dropped them in the mail. I've got a bunch more to write. I had to order more note cards. So if I've been tardy on thanking you properly for being patrons, I do apologize. I'll be spending some time today on that, and I'm working on the forum. The software situation is so far over my head, I cannot tell you, but I hope to get that installed. Agata Brodnika, how do you count carbs? Do you count net or total? I count total. Dr. Westman says count total. There's not great science that necessarily fiber grams are or are not absorbed for everyone or some foods. So I do total, 20 grams. Do I take vitamins, please? I take a multivitamin and fish oil, mostly to appease my husband. And I do take a magnesium supplement. I take Mag 64, which is the quasi-generic form of Slow Mag, and to keep my magnesium up, I take 3 a day. I get them from Amazon. Steve Steckler, great job. Hi, Lind from Mississippi. Steve, I assume you are a dude, and that's that. And I'm always so happy when men are here. This is so often something that women think we have cornered the market on weight issues or body image or something like this. No, and we don't have the market cornered. The Bengas Homeschooling Homestead. Well, hello, Tammy Cook. Jillian Freeman. Sorry if you've already covered this. Happy Seeker 82. 8 hitting a new low overnight. I put on 3 pounds, no cheats, but did it wings at restaurant. You know, when you eat out at restaurants, sauces can be tricky. So it could be that. But I will tell you, I will put on 3 pounds overnight. I weigh every day. I'm near the jumping off place as far as weight loss goes. 3 pounds is nothing. Don't sweat it. Stick with the program, but do when you're eating out. Ask questions. Sometimes the wait staff know, and sometimes they don't. You know, about what's the ingredients in sauces. Is this breaded? Because it kind of, you know, it says it's not, but it kind of looks like. Don't worry about it. Go back to what you're doing. No stopping this, Grandma. I live the lifestyle. That's great. I see just the tail end of that. I missed what Janie Buck had done. So sorry about that. Bernadine writes, I love reading all the results. Congrats all. You've definitely motivated me. Bernadine, if you're new to this, stick with it. You know, there might be a little burn-in period. You might feel a little sluggish. You might get a little headache. Check your sodium. Make sure, because when you start the diet and throughout, your kidneys just release a lot of water. It's just the physiology of it. With water goes sodium. With sodium go minerals. particularly magnesium. So, and if you are low in magnesium, you can just feel unwell. Just Google side effects of magnesium deficiency. The easiest fix is to up your sodium. The easiest way to do that, get some bouillon cubes, the cheap ones, and have 1 or 2 of those a day, because that high sodium will help retain that. It sounds counterintuitive. It's the opposite of what we've been told, but this diet is the opposite of everything. Kim, 28 pounds in 4 months, with time being in and out of ketosis, mostly for self-testing. Great results, Kim. As far as slow digestion, I found adding a little coconut oil. Oh, I see. Slow digestion. Now, I assume you're talking about constipation. That comes up a lot. I've not had an issue with it, but with less food, there's less waste. And possibly with more efficient food, there's less waste. So don't confuse less waste with constipation. If you're not having pain, if you really feel like you need to eliminate and you're having pain with it, that's a different story. Coconut oil might help with that. Dr. Westman just says the old school things, milk of magnesia, psyllium husk, Metamucil, something like that. Marlene writes, Jen S., it was higher on stevia than Splenda. Truvia was higher than Splenda. I don't know whether you're talking about, don't know what you're answering, Marlene, but thank you for answering that question. I've noticed some bouillon has sugar. Yeah, it does. And I have taken the bouillon. And my husband does too, because he works in a physically demanding job, and sometimes he'll get on his bike and ride for 40 miles. And he's losing, he's sweating. So, but we have decided not to worry about it on that. Marlene writes, it was pretty interesting. I thought Splenda would have been worse for me, but it's actually better. We use Splenda. We tried many different artificial sweeteners or non-sugar sweeteners, and every single one of them, we did not like. We found a bitter aftertaste, both of us. So we just like the powdered Splenda. Some people, kind of fault us for that, but that's okay. Linda Sharon writes, just have the opposite. I haven't had a problem going. And Terry Farlow shares that Smooth Moves Tea Works. Is that the name of it, Terry? That's what it's called? Okay, guys. So I think oh, by the way, I found a list of stuff that I'd written a long time ago when I wanted to remind myself of things that were better on this diet than before. Just to remind myself, not that I ever thought of going back, but there were times when the weight loss slowed so much, and particularly when I was eating out of habit, not out of hunger. They kind of plateaued, and Dr. Westman said, are you eating out of habit, not out of hunger? But I was trying to say, well, what do I care if I lose any more weight? Because here are a few of the things, and I bet you can make your own list. One was I started saying yes to things again. I started saying yes to invitations to do many different things. I had just gotten to the point where I'd say, oh, thank you, no, or I'd say yes, and then I'd cancel at the last minute. And part of that was because I wasn't very happy. I didn't feel like I was good company. It was draining to pretend like I was in a happy place. I didn't have clothes I wanted to wear because I couldn't fit in any clothes. The 24W jeans and the uniform of 3/4 inch extra large button-up shirts from Costco. So I started saying yes to things because I felt better. And I could wear cute clothes, which led me to the next thing, Stitch Fix. I've talked about this before, but just new clothes. Whether it's from Stitch Fix or you go to, Chico's or go to Steinmart or whatever. I was able to fit into cuter clothes. I felt better. I started wearing colors. Bright colors. Vibrant colors. You can't tell by today because I'm wearing gray, but that's because it's a gray day here. I would never wear red or orange, for goodness sake. Or patterns? No patterns. I wore dark charcoal gray, dark blue, black, with the occasional button-up shirt from Costco that might be a pale blue to go with my eyes. I started wearing colors. Heels. Things that you don't do when you're a very fat person is wear sassy heels. And I've got some sassy heels. They'll be going on the cruise with me. Peep toe pumps. Collarbones. Having a collarbone again is great. I mean, I've always had collarbones. I just couldn't see them. Yoga poses. I've talked about that before, being able to do yoga poses that I just couldn't do because I was so padded. I like yoga. My husband's hugs. He can get his arms way all the way around me. Way all the way around me. Wow. You know, I was bigger than my husband. Well, not taller, but bigger than my husband for most of our marriage. We've been married 36 years, and I've been bigger than he, not including the times I was pregnant, for 29 of those years. He can hug me all the way around. And painting my toenails, reaching my toenails, tying my shoelaces, being able to stand on one foot and slip my socks on the other foot, you know, stand on one foot, slip a sock on, change, slip a sock on. Being able to bend over and pick up something on the floor. Man, before I could have dropped a $20 bill on the ground out in public, I would not have tried to pick it up. Because if I started to bend over, I might have just fallen over. I wasn't up for the humiliation. That $20 bill would have flown off in the wind. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to start to wrap up. This is a long one. Come get me heels. Yeah, we have another name for it that my husband asked me to please stop referring to them then. I think it made him a little uncomfortable. Yeah, Pam, that's right. Forgive and Love 09. Celebrate those husband hugs. I wrote a blog post. And I know a lot of you don't follow my blog, which is good. I'm actually a better writer than I am video maker. There are two things that stick out in my mind, really bright, starkly. One was when I was able to put on a pair of my husband's jeans. Gosh. And I did make a video about that months ago. That was something. Because I would occasionally try to put them on, and I swear I couldn't get them over my knees. And now I'm wearing them today. I'm actually wearing the jeans, and they're baggy on me. The other one was when I went into this retail store. And I won't repeat it. You can go to the blog and read it. And the idea of retail shopping always put me off, which is why I went to Stitch Fix. Because I've always said I'd rather take a beating than go into a retail store. And I always thought it was because of the overstimulation of the lights and the colors and now I know why. Go read about it if you're interested. And then, if you don't mind, Pamela, I'm gonna tell you that Pamela shared privately that she had a somewhat similar experience as I, except worse, I would say. So we never know. You know, sometimes we bury down experiences we've had that have merely compounded our situation. And I'm finding as I'm lighter, the layers are disappearing, and explanations, not excuses, but explanations for why I felt the way I did and how it compounded are coming to light. It's amazing and it's fascinating, really. And it's never too late to rediscover these things about yourself. Never too late. I'm 59 freaking years old. And 4 years ago, I was ready to put myself on an ice floe and go out to sea. I was disgusted and beaten down with myself, not my life. I have the best life of anybody you will ever meet. I was not happy in my own head. Pamela writes, Kim, start looking in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you. It will be hard at first, but you will begin to believe that you are beautiful. You know what? Feelings follow behavior. I do believe that. You know, I used to have a lot of out loud negative. I put myself down all the time. I was very self-deprecating humor because I wanted to do it before anybody else did. And I through a long series of events, I stopped saying those things out loud. I didn't necessarily stop thinking them, but I made myself stop saying them. And then after a while, I stopped thinking them. And after a while, I stopped feeling them. Good advice, Pam. Tina Anderson, panic attack to buy a dress for a wedding. Unreal. I feel you, sister. 6 pounds, 12 days. I know I've only just started, but I can't wait for the day that I have that list as well. Lilybug, that is fantastic. Congratulations. And don't stick with it. Trust that this works. Trust that this process works, okay? It really does. You will stall. You will go up. I'm up. No, I'm exactly the same yesterday as I was the day before. But I'm up from my lowest low. I'm not worried about it. It works. Fake it till you make it. Absolutely. Fake it till you make it. Raymond. Hey, Raymond. Glad you're here, man. For me, I will limit myself to a max of 50 grams per day or less once I reach my goal, since I'm still young. If things get worse for me, I'll lower. See, Raymond, absolutely. He made 3 great points. When he gets to goal, he will go to 50 grams because he's young. That is a thing. He's also a man. That is different. But he's going to listen to his body. And he knows that he'll just make an adjustment. So I think that is a great, great attitude. And that's really good. I just love that. Listen to your body. Do what works for you. Don't do what works for me necessarily. It works for me. Dr. Westman has said he can guarantee the process will work. He simply can't guarantee you'll follow it. But no judgment. I've made this point before. I am logging in my FitnessPal. I thought about stopping, and many people said, please don't. It helps. I listen to my body, and I eat when I'm hungry, and I don't when I'm not. So some days I'll be eating 500 calories. Some days I'll be eating 1,300. But don't eat what I eat based on my FitnessPal. Don't arbitrarily do that, because then you're not listening to your body, you're listening to my body. I'm listening to my body. You listen to your body, okay? And trust that if you're not hungry, don't eat. Someone else has asked, I'm having trouble getting in all my calories based on my FitnessPal. Then stop using the app. My FitnessPal does not know what you need to eat. It is based on average. It's based on information we now know to be faulty, right? The calories needed for a person cannot be boiled down to, here's the set thing. Some days I need more energy consumed. I'm going to try to quit using the word calories than others. And Dr. Finney, when asked, how many calories should I have a day? He says, I have no idea. Nor do I know how much you should weigh. Nor do I know how many grams of protein you should eat. Everything is too different. Gender, stage of life, lean muscle mass, activity level, age in general, hormones. Are you still of child rearing age? And then the mystical, wonderful stuff we just still don't know yet. Listen to your body. Get rid of my FitnessPal if it's tormenting you. The only thing I use it to look at are my grams of carbs per day. And I don't even have to look at that anymore, because when you're eating bacon and eggs and sausage and ribeye and half an avocado if I eat them, and whatever else I eat, a burger with cheese, I'm not eating carbs. I'm eating very few. Maybe the ones in the half of an avocado. Yesterday, I think I ate 6 grams of carbs. And I only put that in for other people to see. Don't let my FitnessPal tell you what to eat. Don't let an app tell you what to do. Okay? Any more than let the USDA tell you what to do. Lord help us. Doc Napier. Didn't see what Doc Napier, Dr. Father Napier, down 21 pounds since January 16th. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you for another gentleman being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Forgive and love 09, many times we are not hungry when we want to eat. Our brain needs something to do. Usually it is moving in some way. Yeah, try not to eat if you're not hungry and try to learn what that feels like. It's really challenging. It is not an easy thing. It's not an insignificant thing to learn. Linda LaRue, Linda, me too. Cooking keto husband piles on the veggies too. Kim writes, simple foods are the key, really, in my opinion. Eggs, fatty meats, bacon, cheese. Just stay away from processed things. Don't try to search for substitutes. That is what I've done, Kim, precisely. I don't look for substitutes. I did at the beginning, was curious, and I was losing weight, and my husband was on board, and he wanted some variety. We have now gotten to the point where it is pretty simple. Fatty sources of Melanie Meyer, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Fatty sources of protein, maybe a non-starchy vegetable or not, and those are usually cooked or wrapped in bacon or bacon fat. And Kessie Kent writes, it's not about the calories, low carb and high fat from food. That's it. Follow your energy needs. I don't care about the calories. I don't care. I care about remaining in ketosis, feeling good, listening to my body, meeting my body's energy needs. As I've said, when I increase my activity level, my energy needs will increase, and I'll make the appropriate adjustment. But it will be eating more food as my body calls for it. It'll be eating more of the same foods, most likely. All right, it is 4 minutes till the hour. Steve writes, remember, steak and salad for Mother's Day. Raymond writes, our brains are also confused from all the sugar in our diets, normally due to leptin. Usually we are thirsty, not hungry, but our brains misinterpret the signals. Leptin is interesting. And I'm not going to go off on this, but as I understand it, one of the things, so we eat carbs, glucose comes into the bloodstream, the pancreas shoots out insulin to take the glucose and push it into the cells. The other thing insulin does is it blocks leptin. Leptin is the hormone that tells our brain we've had enough food. That's for evolutionary purposes. Another topic for another day. But just know that that's the case. So insulin, which is triggered when you eat carbs, blocks leptin, which tells you you've had enough, which is why you can eat the entire bag of cheese puffs, which is why you can eat the entire tub of popcorn, which is why you can eat an entire giant meal and then want the apple pie. Pamela, thank you so, Pamela, $20 super chat. You are too generous, lady. Thank you. She writes, in case I miss you before the trip, have one on me. Thank you, Pamela. You're most kind. But that is an excellent thing. Leptin is being impacted. So the best way to control that, keep your carbs low. Insulin is not triggered. Leptin gets to tell your brain you've had enough, which is why you stop eating after 3 hard-boiled eggs and a glass of water. Your brain says, ugh, enough already. I'm done. Okay, guys. Listen, you guys have wonderful Mother's Day. If someone's really insisting that you eat something you don't want, you don't have to be ugly, but realize they may not be insisting and they probably don't care what you eat. And just tell them that you're doing this for yourself. And maybe next holiday you won't be doing it, but this one you're doing it. And you're wanting to see if you can do it because it's a good challenge for you. And you might impact somebody else. One of the live chat people last night, the video chat, she's a nurse. She shared that she's lost weight. She's in a nursing situation. Can you tell me what you're doing? Can you tell me what you're doing? Because you've really lost weight and I really need to lose some weight. I want to feel better. So you never know the example that you're setting. You never know what people are seeing. Impact the lives of other people. If you have to take Mother's Day One 15-minute segment at a time, do it. But you don't have to eat the pie or the cake or the cheesecake or the chocolates. You don't have to have the sweet cocktail. Someone wants to give you a mimosa, say, oh, thank you so much, but you know what I'd really love? I'd really love a Chardonnay. Or say I'd love a martini. Or a diet soda. Thank them and tell them what you'd really love. And for you gentlemen in here, I'm sure you will be, if you are married or have significant others, you will be offering your lady spouses or partners steak and salad or salmon and asparagus. You'll do the right thing. So you guys, make it awesome. Have a great weekend. I will be back Monday morning. I will not be here next Friday or the following Monday or the following Friday. And probably not the following Monday, but we'll see. If I can do something from the cruise, live from the cruise, I will. If I can post stuff, I will. But frankly, I don't know that I'm going to be spending my time worrying about it. I think I'm going to unplug a little bit. Our house sitters will be here taking care of everything. And we intend to just block the world out and enjoy our first vacation with just the two of us in our entire married lives. Thanks, guys. You're the best. See you on Monday, hopefully, God willing, and the creek don't rise, as we say in the South. And let's hope the sun starts shining. Bye, guys.